All right, it's Tuesday, a $5 Tuesday. In fact, more on that coming up. The July 28th slate. We got 5 games on the first 5 board to get through with you here today. We're going to be Houston and the Angels in Anaheim for the late game. We're going to talk Milwaukee in San Francisco after getting shut out last night. You got Toronto at Washington. That's going to kick us off on one of the earlier games here tonight, while the Yankees are on the south side. They hung 9 on the White Sox last night. And finally, we got Kansas City rolling into Minnesota after a rare off day. So it's Joe Raineri, WagerTalk.com. Let's dive into some of these first 5 matchups. We're going to start with the Astros at the Angels. Now, the Angels are sending Reed Detmers out to the mound tonight. And the market opened this thing pretty close to a coin flip. Houston minus 108, Angels minus 115, minus 118. You got 2 starters who both had good nights last time out, but the problem is that only one of these lineups, hasn't really punished anybody in about 2 weeks. Now, Detmers, he's been better than his 4.05 ERA says he is, because the underlying metrics and telling me he's closer to a low 3s pitcher, and it's not complicated. He misses bats, he does it at a high rate, and he barely walks anybody. His last Major League Baseball start going on 6 days ago, 5 1/3, 1 earned run against St. Louis, though that lineup isn't exactly murderer's row right now. And Houston's countering with Peter Lambert. He's got a 3.03 ERA, which makes him look a lot better than he actually is, because the underlying numbers are telling me he's closer to a 4 ERA than anything else. Why? Shocker, too many walks. Oh, yeah, and by the way, he doesn't miss enough bats to cover or mask the difference. Now, the Angels have been one of the worst offenses in baseball, period, but against right-handed pitching, especially over the last couple of weeks. And the scoring tells us the same thing. 3.5 runs a game over the last week. That's it. 3.5 runs only. Both numbers are pointing in the same direction. Houston's 2-week numbers against lefties looks okay on paper, but they haven't faced a ton of them. They did put up 5.3, I believe, runs a game. Yeah, 5.3 runs a game last week. So listen, Lambert's number is soft without a doubt, but somebody in this game has to actually hit him, and the Angels haven't hit a right-hander in 2 weeks. So when you put it all together, I like the pitching matchup. I like the way they set up against these lineups. The first 5 under 4.5 looks pretty appetizing to me. Detmers is good enough to keep it quiet on his end, and the Angels, I don't trust enough offensively to have to worry about a big inning against Lambert. So the first 5 under 4.5 for me in that one. All right, let's take a look at this Brewers and Giants game as well on the West Coast, because San Francisco opened as a home dog at plus 115 in the first 5 here. Milwaukee minus 140. And the Giants are actually sending out a starter whose ERA is selling him a little bit short here, folks. That's usually where I'll start looking at games. And Landon Root sitting at a 3.93 ERA, and the underlying numbers are telling me he's been better than that. Closer to the low 3s, mid 3s. Why? Because he misses bats. In fact, he went 6 innings last time out. He left with the lead, but of course the bullpen gave it back. So don't always believe the box score there. But he's been great at home all season long. And Milwaukee, well, their answer is Logan Henderson. And he's the arm nobody is talking about. 3 ERA, strikes outs, just about anybody that he faces. Power pitcher, doesn't walk a ton. The underlying numbers say that number is honest. He is a legit number 2 starter on any franchise right now. Only 8 starts, though, came off the IL, and it's not exactly like everyone's gotten a great book on him just yet, but let's be honest. Milwaukee's bats have been the better group against right-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks. Ortiz, Turang have been crushing it. They've only scored 4.2 runs a game over this last 7 days. And they did, of course, get blanked last night. But the season-long numbers tell us which lineup is better here. The Giants have been middle of the pack offensively over the last 2 weeks against righties. Not great. The market is telling you this is close, but I think the gap between these two teams is wider than that. Milwaukee, first 5 money line, minus 140 to 145. Yeah, that's the direction I'm looking at here. Big bounce back spot for the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, so before we get to the rest of the games here, I do want to tell you it is $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com, but not just WagerTalk.com. Picks and parlays, as well as Sportsmemo.com. That's right. All 3 sister sites, $5 best bets, which means if you head over to WagerTalk.com, I have a $5 best bet up right now for you. And if you head over to Sportsmemo.com, guess what? I've got a second $5 top play available for you there, as do over 100 of the handicappers between all 3 sites. All plays, $5, guys. This is a great opportunity. Take advantage right now. Any one of your 3 favorite sites, WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com, Picks and Parlays. $5 gets you the best bet of the day from your favorite handicapper. Go grab both, WagerTalk and Sports Memo. 2 best bets tonight, guys, for just $5. Head on over now at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. All right, we got a couple of more games that we want to get to, and one of them is going to be in Washington as Toronto is taking on the Nats. Boy, did the Nats crap the bed last night, huh? And they opened up almost minus 160 in the first 5 for this one, which is a bit high given what we know about these two teams. Yes, the Nationals have the best bats in baseball against right-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks. And Toronto is going to try to answer that with Shane Bieber. Now, let's not forget, Toronto also had Scherzer on the mound last night, and Washington couldn't score more than a run against him. Now, Washington is sending out Cade Cavalli, who 3.58 ERA, and that number is about right. He does strike out a ton of guys, but he does tend to get squared up every now and then by power hitters. So, bottom line is it all comes out in the wash at this point. He is about a 3.5 ERA pitcher, and his last MLB start was 6 days ago, went 6 innings, gave up nothing against Colorado. And by the way, his pitch count has been climbing. I think he was up to 90 pitches against Colorado in that game. And meanwhile, you got Bieber sitting at a 4.70 ERA on the season, and he has people thinking he has lost it. And the underlying numbers, by the way, say he's been worse than that. But I would pump the brakes on that. And I would caution people about sticking a fork in Bieber just yet. Why? Because in his last 3 starts, he's allowed only 3 earned runs over 17 2/3 innings. He just shut down the best offense in the American League last start and made it through 7 innings. Washington's offense has been the best in the sport against righties over the last, I'd even put it back over the last month. They back it up, too, by the way. 5.7 runs a game they've averaged over the last week. And Toronto is the complete opposite of that. They have been one of the worst lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching, left-handed pitching, underarm pitching. Doesn't really make a difference. They suck. 3 runs a week they've been averaging over the last 7 days. So I think runs are going to be hard to come by in this one. Washington's been good, yes, no doubt. But so were the Rays when Bieber managed to go 7 innings and keep them to 1 run. I think Bieber is becoming more like the Bieber of years past, and I think the market is pushing for a first 5 over. The public loves it. I don't. I'm going the other way. I think runs are hard to come by. First 5 under 4.5 for me in this one. All right, let's move on to the Chicago White Sox at home, trying to bounce back against the New York Yankees, who just hung a 9 spot on them last night. And even though they did that, the market still opened them at just minus 140 in the first 5 for this game. Garrett Cole is on the mound for the Yankees. And he's going up against a lineup that just has not hit right-handed pitching well in the last couple of weeks. And that number that they put up is going to be interesting here tonight for the White Sox. Now, listen, Cole, 3.92. It's honest for what he is since he's come back from the Tommy John surgery here. He's still missing bats. He's not walking anybody. And the run prevention has landed him right about where that number says it should be. But the bottom line to me is, the eye test, he passes it. Cole is looking more and more like Garrett Cole to me after every start. Meanwhile, Chicago's going with Anthony Kay. He's got a 4.21 ERA, and I have no idea how guys aren't lighting him up. It makes him look way better than what he is because the underlying numbers have him nearly a full run worse than that ERA. Why? Because he doesn't miss bats. He doesn't strike guys out. And, he's got an offense behind him now in Chicago that really has fallen off a cliff, especially against righties now. They did score 4.5 runs a game on average over the last 7 days this past week, but I don't get it, man. You got a 2-week read against the hand that they're actually facing right now, that being a big right-handed power pitcher on the Yankees and Garrett Cole. And you've got the Yankees middle of the pack right now against lefties over the same 2-week stretch. They're missing guys left and right, but they did manage to score 9 last night with a whole bunch of backups, right, and guys that they just called up. 3.7 runs a game over the last week. That's why I can't run to the window and back the Yankees here. I backed them last night. I don't know that I can back them here tonight, even with Garrett Cole on the mound. But I'll tell you what, I'll isolate the White Sox first 5 team total because it'll be Cole versus them. And I think he's going to dominate this White Sox crew here that they're sending up to the plate. My 1.5 runs, I think, is the total. Plus 120 is the price. And at that price, I'll back Cole to limit the damage that this White Sox team can muster up here. All right, we got one more game to go. And again, before we get there, don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Become part of the WagerTalk TV family if you could. Take advantage of the $5 Tuesday right now, guys. Not just at WagerTalk.com, Picks and Parlays, Sportsmemo.com. You're talking about 100 handicappers here. All have at least one best bet up right now for $5. I have one at WagerTalk.com, WT.buzz/JR, and I've got another $5 best bet up over at Sportsmemo.com. So that's 2 best bets right now, guys. $5, both at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo.com. Go take advantage of that while we take advantage of this Minnesota and Royals game here tonight. Now, Minnesota opened up minus 165 in the first 5 as a favorite. That's one of the heaviest prices on the board here tonight. And I can't get there. I have no idea what the hell we're paying for in this price, because the Minnesota lineup has been, bottom third of baseball against right-handed pitching for the better part of 2 weeks. Now, Taj Bradley is going for Minnesota. He's got a 3.69 ERA, but the underlying metrics tell me he's a little bit better than that. In fact, he's actually pitched a little bit better than that, but he still gives up far too many walks, a lot of traffic on the base pass with him. He did throw 109 pitches just 5 days ago. Keep that in mind as well. Minnesota, when they took on the Guardians. And for Kansas City, it's Seth Lugo. He's got a 4.36 ERA, and that's about what he is. He doesn't walk a ton of guys. He doesn't give up a ton of hard contact. And that's really why I'm scratching my head in this one. Minnesota scored 4.7 runs a game last week, last 7 days. Kansas City, they've been middle of the pack against right-handed pitching too. But again, offense is a problem for them. 3.3 runs a game over the last 7 days. So there's nothing really sticking out offensively on either side of this game. So I still can't figure out why the minus 160, 165. You got Kansas City opened up at plus 130. And can I tell you something? I'll take the plus money through the first 5 because I actually trust Lugo more than I trust Taj Bradley at this point. I like the big dog price here. Maybe even look, Kansas City plus a half a run in the first 5. I don't think there's a ton separating these two teams right now, so I'll take the plus money where I can. And there you got it, guys. That'll do it. We've got first 5 plays for you ready to go. And don't forget, again, hit that like and subscribe button. Become part of that Wager Talk TV family. Take advantage of the $5 Tuesday at not 1, not 2, but 3 of our sites here at WagerTalk.com, picks and parlays and sportsmemo.com. And make sure you go grab my top play here tonight. You're going to love this play. 4% best bets at both WagerTalk and sportsmemo.com. You can go get them for just $5 each. Appreciate the time as always, guys. Best of luck with the plays today. Come back and join us again tomorrow for another edition of First 5 here on Wager Talk TV. Good luck.